Hey everybody, Carl here, and I wanted to give you just a couple quick updates on our transmitter, things that just might help you a bit. Uh, I've still pretty much got the same setup. I've been doing some using different components to try a few things to give you a better range. That give you some stuff you can try. Uh, let me show you what I've been doing with the coils. Now, if you remember in the last one, I think I showed you where I put hot glue on the spring so it would keep it solid, and that was on my that's on the first transmitter that I built. This one right here, and that just to make it more steady. Now, I took that idea and went a step further. Let me see if I can put this down and get the stuff out of the way. If you notice here, I've got it on here, but I can still turn the screw. Okay? Now what this does is it keeps your coil uh, in the same dimension. In other words, when you're screwing this in and out, you're not stretching it and bending it and everything. This keeps it the same shape. So all you have to do is just, bring your bolt in or take it out and to adjust the frequency. And you have something that stays pretty common. I did it with this one. Well, I got several here that I did. I did a smaller one with with that. I did the 1/4 inch bolt. Is that? I mean, they're not the prettiest thing. And what I did is first I wound the coil on the bolt, made sure it was the way I wanted it, and then I took and shot some WD-40. Actually, I put it on my fingers and just rubbed all around the coil and the bolt. And then I took my hot glue and I'd put like a dab on it, and then I'd get my fingers wet and kind of smooth it down and push it down. Put a little bit more, and I just keep repeating that process till I got it pretty much covered. And then I just leave it sit for a while. And that seemed to work out pretty well. Like I said, I did several of them. Now, Ron asked me a couple good questions. First of all, what gauge wire am I using? For the most part, I'm using between 22 gauge and 24. This is mostly here is 22. 24 works well, and for those that use the millimeters, that's 0.500. That area there. But the funny thing about this is, whatever wire you can get, like if you take some that's off of a transformer that's like real thin, and especially using this technique where you put hot glue on it, if you wrap that around a bolt and then secure it with hot glue, and so it should, it'll stay and it'll hold its shape, you should be fine. And it's like everything else. What I've been saying this whole time is you just have to try different stuff. I've had pretty good luck with most all these. It's just that you have to adjust them a little bit different, a little more in, a little more out, and you'll get it dialed in. But I thought that was a pretty good tip, and I wanted you guys to see that. I wanted to share that with you because it really might help. Another thing Ron asked, what transistors was I using? Now in the past I used 2N2222As. That's a little silver can one, and they worked good in the transmitters that I did in the past. I thought I had more because I was going to use one of those too. Evidently, I don't have any right now. But I did use some other ones, and the one that I'm using here right now, and this one here, is a C945, and that's been working really well. Matter of fact, I had a generic one in, and it worked okay. And I thought, well, let me try some other ones, and I pulled that out, and I put this one in, and it came to life a lot better. So I thought, okay, C945, I know that one works well. I can, there you go. Now, one other thing that we kind of talked about before is on our resistors. Does those values really matter that much? And remember, like on my first one up there, I had a 39K, and I couldn't find a 39K, so I used a 33K in here, and so far it's been working great. But I thought, well, you know what? I ought to put that to the test and just kind of see what happens if you change that, because that's the bias resistor, and that one's pretty important. So let me go to a clip right here where I pulled this one out, and I used my decade box, my resistor decade box, and I fiddled with the values a bit, and let's take a look at that. Okay, just want to show you this real fast. 37K, right? Okay, I'm going to turn that down a second. I got the leads to my decade box hooked up. I took out the 33K, and I wanted to see if I wanted to play with it a bit. Does it matter that much? And evidently, for this setup, I found that between the 33 that I have set and the 39, that's probably the best settings. I went to other ones, and it didn't sound as good. Let me see if I can do this without getting a hit. I'm gonna let me crank it up. See, I just went up to 40 instead of 30 something. Go down to 2, same thing. But in that range there, that seems to be the best. So our bias resistor for this particular setup is between, I'd say, 32 and 39K. We're getting the best results. I just wanted to throw that in there. Okay, so you see there, it did make a difference. Now, another thing that will make a little bit of a difference is if you adjust the voltage. And like we talked about this before, especially with a one transistor transmitter, you're going to have things that fluctuate a lot more. So you change the values of your power coming in, and that's going to affect your circuit. Same way with changing your antenna. Your antenna is going to have an effect on it. All this stuff's going to have an effect. So you got to keep that in mind, especially when you're building on the breadboard. Because we know that the breadboard, things, it will get you in the ballpark. But you have to, you have to take it and you have to go to a regular board. Now that's the last thing I'm going to mention, because I'm going to bring this up probably in the next video. I went in, and when I was doing my original one, I went in, I set up a circuit in Eagle. And, well, here, I did make the traces as thick as I should have. And as you can see, I have like a lot of like a bodge wires kind of here and there. I mean, it works and it's fine, but the traces were a little bit too thin. So on this latest one, that I'm going to do. And I'm not sure. I think this is the one I'm going to use. I have to double check it. And that's why when I get done with this, I will give you a, I'll lay it out for you so you can, you can copy it and everything. But if you notice, I made my traces a lot thicker. And I think that'll help. Because it's not, it just has a little more copper. But being able to solder to it and not have things, areas that break down on you, I don't think that'll happen with it being this thick. So that's just something else I wanted to mention. And as I get that dialed in, because that'll be the next step, I'll be taking this one on the board and transferring it to an actual PC board. So I just wanted to bring up those few things, and I hope you guys are giving this a try and at least trying to put some things together on it, because I think you're going to have fun with it. Like I said, it can be a blast. It can get a little frustrating too, but if you just stick with it, like I said, on this particular circuit, it's been working great. So hopefully you guys will get one going, and I would love to hear about it. Okay, I'm gonna get off here. I think we've already got probably over 10 minutes on here. So this is like a shorty. I just wanted to give some updates and show you a couple of the things that I found were helpful for me, and hopefully they're helpful to you too. Have a great day, everybody. I'll be talking to you real soon. Bye.